It is a very, very good evening to you. It's another Wednesday, the 18th of February, 2026. And this is The Tackle. This is another episode of The Tackle, the third episode in 2026. And as usual, please, when you join in, when you like, we get to know that you're watching us. And after, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. This is The Tackle, and it begins right now. So today, we're going to have a conversation about, depending on where you sit, controversial or beneficial. For those who are in opposition, they believe it's one of the projects that they really oppose and they think it should not be run as it is being run. And for those who are in government, they're saying it is the master stroke for youth development. That is Nyota. And the question is, when is little much? Because kuna watu wamesema 22,000, hiyo ni pesa gani? It's very small money. Na wale wengine ambao wanapewa wanasema hii ni pesa mingi sana. Wengine wamesema mfungua biashara. Others are saying they've been able to boost their businesses and they're making profits again. And we'll be having the PS for MSMEs. That is Mheshimiwa Susan Mang'eni, who will be joining us shortly. But meanwhile, we have Senior Counsel, Esquire. Otieno Mokaya. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
How are you?
Niko salama.
Habari ya wiki?
Wiki imekuwa vizuri. We are back here to where we should be. We are now a landmark.
Sisi ndio tuko.
Ikifika Wednesday saa 1:30 utajua imefika na nusu wakati
ukituona unajua ni 7:30. You have not seen us and you know then clearly it's not 7:30 yet. Okay. How's your week like? I know it's just started, of course.
Wiki iko sawa. You said that time is flying. It means
it's already 18.
Mambo sio mbaya.
It's already 18. Mambo haijikuwa mbaya.
Mambo ikiwa mbaya
unajua. Ukiona mtu ambaye unaogopa masiku zisonge, ni yule mtu akona responsibility.
Yes.
Because ikielekea end month unajua bills ndio hizo ziko kwa shingo.
Na mambo mengi. Because it means you have adopted responsibility.
Let's say adulting is a scam.
Yes.
I think it was. They didn't want us.
It has always been.
All right. So we'll start off as we're waiting for Mheshimiwa Mang'eni. I want us to quickly discuss the current affairs. Of course, there is the agreement by the national government and the county government on the running of Nairobi County. And this has been argued that it's the rebirth of NMS. And do you remember we had a problem with NMS?
Yes.
Is it? Is it not?
So the city county of Nairobi is unique. It's unique because it's not just a county. It's the seat of power. And Nairobi being the capital of the world, even Africa, it's special. It's special not because it's just a county. It's special because it's the capital of Africa. UNEP cannot come to a dirty city. So it doesn't matter what democracy tells us, Nairobi must work. And I want to be clear that this is not a transfer of functions. It's a sharing of functions. And Nairobi being a unique county, it needs, actually, there's an argument that Nairobi was not supposed to be a county proper because of its central function. So this is good for Nairobi, it's good for Nairobians, and I believe it well anchored in law because there is no divorcing of counties from national government.
As a lawyer, you cannot say you believe it is anchored in law. You have to tell us where exactly it is anchored.
But I believe, you know a quack when they are certain. Anyone who's certain is a quack.
Okay.
Any professional will tell you it depends. When I say I believe, it means there is a reading of the law that can facilitate what's happening in Nairobi. Just like there is a reading of the law that will tell you that it's not legal. But practically, we are not meant for the law. The law is meant for us.
Okay.
So then we must apply the law in a way that looks at the spirit of it towards service delivery. So I want to congratulate Sakaja for being humble enough to accept what works and what doesn't. This is not the dissolving of Nairobi County. This is making Nairobi work. And I believe 2 years ago, Sakaja said, lazima work. These are road towards making it work.
Okay. Yes. But remember just recovering from NMS, which was seen as an upfront on devolution.
NMS was a coup.
So
this cooperation.
How do we separate this? Can you tell us the key differences between these two?
If you say that there are county functions in Nairobi, when everyone who's going to a market is going to Gikomba, then there's a blurry line between what Nairobi is as a county and what it is as a city, a capital city, a seat of power, and where everything stems from. So when somebody is coming to the Ministry of Health, is he coming to Nairobi or is coming to a government office? So then we must allow institutions like Kura and Kera to adopt some functions. The Uhuru Highway is a road within Nairobi, but it's a national road. Kenyatta Avenue is a road within Nairobi, but it has a national function. Haile Selassie Avenue has more power and more government offices, and you can't say that it's only in Nairobi. There are things, JKIA is within Nairobi County, but is it only a function of Nairobi? So you can't divorce the Nairobi County from national government, just like you can't say it's not a county. So we want to balance between the rights of Nairobians to be represented like any other county, while recognizing the central positioning of Nairobi as not only the capital city of this country, not only the city that hosts State House, but also the capital city of Africa, because UNEP and other international bodies sit here. It's the face of Kenya.
Okay. Yeah. So for Nairobians who are watching you right now, what then do we stand to benefit from this cooperation as you've read it?
We stand to benefit that we'll have a functioning city without regard of who's doing it. You know, I know resources follow function, but we can't focus on resources without the effectiveness of function. So do you care who collects your garbage, or do you care that your garbage is collected? Okay. Do you care where the budget sits, or do you care that my road has no pothole? Do you care whether you have a livable, functioning city, or do you care about who's doing it? I think we need to move from control to user. Okay. Whether you own your house or not, can you open the door and close it? Can you sleep peacefully? Are you focusing on owning a shanty, or you want to have access to a mansion? So if we focus on function, we have a beautiful city going forward. Okay. If we focus on tough wars, then we'll fight over nothing, and then we'll have a filthy city to our detriment. So it doesn't matter who's doing it. Is it working? I believe it will be working.
Muhimu ni ifanye kazi. I would be very interested to hear what the viewers have to say as well. Seeing we have some of us have presenter Joy saying good job, Mr. Bitok. Asante sana. When you join in, let us know where you're watching us from, and after you like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. Karibu sana, Madam PS. Susan.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Naona umeanza Lent.
Nimeanza Lent. Mkristo kamili, Mkatoliki. Yeah, and today was a very interesting day for the religions in this country. So dini mbili zimekutana. Christianity.
Kulikuwa na broad-based.
Islamic, it was Ramadan, at the same time the beginning of the Lent season, Ash Wednesday.
So some people are getting ashes, others are going hungry.
Yeah. No, Ash, not really. Getting ashing is also, you begin also fasting.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the Lent season.
Okay.
In the Christian world. Same way Ramadan is the beginning of the fasting season. So Lenten season is fasting.
Fasting itself.
Prayers, fasting, and thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please remember to pray for Mokaya.
I think I need to pray for him, because the way it's like he's dropped from.
I'm a card carrying Seventh-day Adventist, so.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder. This thing you don't.
Ni Musabato.
Mimi ana.
Oh, ni Musabato.
Focus on the seventh day.
But we prayed for everybody.
Okay.
Every Kenyan. Yeah.
Happy New Year. I'm very happy to have you here.
Okay.
Yeah.
We haven't met this year.
Tumepatana lakini huko msituni, hatujapatana hapa ndani.
Tumezunguka. Yeah. How are you doing?
Moving around together. Doing well.
Good to be here.
Mambo iko namna gani?
Si mbaya. Mambo iko sawa. Tuko salama.
Ngotwaji, what's the state of the nation? Ukikaa hivyo unasikia nchi iko namna gani?
Nchi iko sawa. You can feel it. Ama vipi Mokaya?
Anasema aoni siku zikienda, which means he's doing very well.
Ama siku zinakimbia?
For the first time, my January has really gone very fast.
Correct, is what I was telling you.
Yeah. For the first time. Yeah. I don't know. I never felt January. Not because
I share the same sentiment. I never suffered as I had anticipated.
Yeah, so things are working out.
You guys were looking forward to suffering.
I don't know why he was looking forward to suffering.
January is always on January. Yeah, so you are always waiting for that thing.
Yeah, I'm yet to see this cabbage coming up. That's what that's the mark, the symbol of January. It is dry, it is too hot. There's nothing dry even in your pocket. But since January has been a little bit different.
Watu wako sawa.
Imekuwa mzuri.
Watu meaning kwamba the rest of the year will be okay.
Ama wamefika Singapore.
I think Singapore tumeanza safari. When you're planning to, let's say, to go on a a journey. You start feeling the destination. So I think we set the journey.
Ni kama Christmas. Unasubiri Christmas.
Unajua Christmas tunaanza kupanga 1st December. Mtu already you are in that Christmas mood.
All right. Yeah. So we're having a conversation, of course, about the cooperation between Nairobi County. I know it doesn't sit in your place, but it seems there's one approach government.
Yeah.
What do you, as a leader, what do you have to tell the citizens of Nairobi?
I think first and foremost, this is the most the honest leadership that I've seen in the long time in this country. Governor Sakaja coming out and saying, if you look at what Nairobi is, and I think Wakili here has brought it out well, that Nairobi is not just a county. And I agree with him. In some jurisdiction, like in the US, we have the capital of the US, the Washington, D.C., is not a state. And it does not, that's why they keep on saying we have no they say taxation without representation. So that then because a lot of resources, a lot of decision happen around, so everybody has a stake. So Nairobi takes care, I will say, generates revenue that all the time takes care of the rest of the country. Most cities, everybody, when you grow up, you want to go to the capital city. Yeah. So if you look at the burden, is very extremely high here, economic burden. And yet we keep on pushing. Governor Sakaja, whenever he trains, look at what is happening. Mitaro, in a block, Nairobi is dirty, those kind of things. Yes, yeah. But again, also, there is also another responsibility that is emerging of shouldering now the regional image. Yeah. Now, when you see some of the offices of the UN, part of the agencies also wanting now to relocate. Yeah. Let me give you, let me call it a sub-agency, ITC. They're already opening up the office here in Gigiri. This is going to be their first regional office. And when it settles here to cover the entire Africa, and this will be their first regional office after the Geneva, because traditionally they've been hosted in Geneva. Now they are coming to Africa because now we want to see how their frameworks, their trade platform can help us to grow our businesses, to grow our trade, to grow MSMEs and position them on the international platform. So they are coming to set up an office. If you look at their functions, the mandates are very much wide. So the entire continent will be looking at Nairobi. Because again, whenever you talk about any decision, any political decision, political diplomacy is always resolved around the capital city. That's why you always say the Washington, D.C., Nairobi, you will not say Kenya. Sometimes you say Nairobi, this decision, Nairobi. Declaration here and there. So I think, to me, I see honesty in the leadership of the Nairobi Governor Sakaja. And sometimes if you get overwhelmed, it's good to come and say, because the law provides for that. Yes. If it comes a time you feel there is a challenge, you get back to the national government. In any case, resources are being devolved from the center and say, look, we need to work together, cooperate together, so that we can put Nairobi in a situation, in a state where we can pull in even more resources, more support from the global space to cascade back to the rest of the country. So I think what the decision that they've done is good. And again, they're just trying to cooperate and address some of the areas that have been have been paining us as residents of Nairobi, the Kenyans residents. And now we've not even looked at the foreigners who come in and say, look at this city, it is dirty. Why wouldn't the national government then come in to intervene? So to me, I think that decision is wise. Of course, you cannot insulate that decision from politics around it. Some people are feeling, why are you doing this? Why are you taking it back to the national government? If you look at those same people who have been bashing Sakaja day and night, Why are you not doing this? And Basakaja is saying, to us to attain the status, the city status, and like he said, it's the capital of Africa. You know, if you to look at those organizations that are coming to settle in Africa, it is the capital. And it's been the international hub, not just for the region, but it is an international hub. Many continents are looking Nairobi for many other things, US, you know, if you look at the North America, so many interests are at play here because we are strategically positioned geopolitically as a country, and therefore why would we not want to support it as a national government? I think it's a wise decision. So anything else is just the usual politics.
We have to say what we have.
Nisiasa, you see, you know, and I will tell you how politics will always be there. But what matters is to get the work get done. Now, I remember inviting one of the opposition senator. I would not say his name. And so I was inviting him because we've been inviting all the elected leaders, from governors to even MCA, to attend our meetings. And so he spoke to me and said, you know, I know what you're doing is good. And for the first time, the government has gotten it right. However, I got to do my politics.
I can't say that.
I got to do my politics. If I start praising what you're doing, then it means I'm out of
A job.
Yeah, so I got to do my politics. That's what he told me. But you have all my blessing. I cannot come to that meeting. I know what you're doing is good. My people will be there. Beneficiaries will be there. But let me tell you, I cannot praise you in public because I don't want to lose my job.
But let me just, since we're still there, before we move to the real debate. So if something good is being done, does accepting that something is good is being, because it's being done to the people that you represent, okay? So does it mean that if it's a good thing, but coming from different hands, does joining that cause make you less of a leader? Because you are leading these people. If, for instance, we are coming to your constituency to give out this startup capital, you are giving it to people that you represent. So if you accept that this is a good project and maybe it benefits our people, how does it make these people less?
I think
silent kidogo.
I think it's a political, that's what I'm trying to do. I think it's the political orientation that we have in this country. We believe that for us to be seen as being effective leaders, we must criticize. Yes, criticism, not all criticism are bad. But you know now, in this country, sometimes we tend to think that if we shout on top of our voice, we must find a reason to bring someone else's opinion down. We must find something that is not working. You know, like, let me give you an example. Let's say before we had these police reforms, no matter how your car looks like and you feel it's new, even when you're walking with it from the shop, that if a cop stops you, they will always find it. So they will always. So I think it's the orientation that we have, to me, which I think is sad, that the kind of politics which we do are not based on ideology, and most of the time are not issue-based. Because if they are issue-based politics, you'll always give an alternative. You'll criticize by also offering an alternative. I would have expected people who will say, I cannot come. You can't tell me that what I'm doing is good. But because you want to build negativity around it, so that you have bonga points to tell the government is not doing much, yet you know very well that your beneficiaries are there. You know, so we try to play politics that pulls down. It's the kind of a pull down politics. You know, we must find a reason to make you look small or not to be doing something. Let me tell you, people have been, for example, criticizing Governor Sakaja. And last Saturday, whenever I'm around in Nairobi, I like visiting my mama mboga, not as PS, just like as their customers to go buy tomatoes and those. So I happened to go to one of the market stalls. This lazima iwak. Some of these that I has established.
Green and yellow.
Green and yellow across our estates all over. And I met this mama mboga, so then I started picking tomatoes, and then I say, hey, hi, hebu niambie inawak. You know, like now, inawak. Niambie, mbogi na, so he doesn't know. She didn't know she's speaking to a PA, so anasema inawak. Nikamwambia hebu niambie vile inawak. Inawak kwa sababu, one thing that Sakaja has done for us, pulling us from mwavuli. In fact, this is the correct words which she said. She has moved us from the umbrella, from mwavuli. Ametutoa kwa mwavuli, ametuleta mahali where it is clean. We sit here, it is secure. We have even increased our stock, and we have customers. We have a sustainable flow of customers here. So tuko sawa. Have even employed more people, some of them now who are doing supplies. And then I look back and I see the way people throw shade at Sakaja. This is not working. This is, and you wonder where we never find anything positive about somebody. I think we only praise you when you are gone. This is again our orientation, even in politics. Even that Sakaja, if it happens, after he finishes his term, he will be praised. Sakaja alifanya hivi. Fulani alifanya hivi. But while you are there, we always ask for more. We are the kind of people who look at the bottle as half empty and not half full. I mean, it's our culture, it's our nature. So to me, but as a leader, you have to be focused. Because also leader, you have to provide a direction. You are the one who has the vision, who carries the vision. You know where you pledge to take the county or the country to. Then you have to stay focused, stay on the track. And no matter what people say, if you believe in what you're doing, just continue doing it. And if you stop doing it, today let me tell you, if now Sakaja retracts again and say now we can, you will see again voices here. Now you see umaribu. So I mean it's our nature, and if you understand that it's part of our formation as human being, our culture, and then as a good leader, you ignore and you proceed doing what is right.
It's interesting the example you just provided, because someone will say if you see mama mboga in some neighborhood, you'd be like, Sakaja ameharibu hii neighborhood, ameleta mama mboga karibu na sisi, hapa hatufai kuwa na mama mboga kama hizi. So it could be working for him, but there's somebody who's initiated, hii container inafanya nini nje ya hii estate yetu.
And then also we always I always think we beat ourselves so hard. We always unfair to ourselves as Kenyans in terms of criticizing and how we look at things. I do not know if there is any city in the world which never have challenges of drainage, especially when it rains. The difference is in those cities, when it rains, like moments after raining, even 1 hour, water will tend to flood, clog, and then the drainage, because of the maintenance, will happen very fast. But here it starts raining, and there is a bit of clogging, and the first thing you see, everybody's up on arms. Oh, then after 1 hour, water has gone, or after 2 hours, water has gone. So anyway, it's good to keep us on toes so that we come up with system that can get to clear water, vacate water as fast as possible, and make sure that those drainage system, maybe we need to automate in the sense that if there is a blockage, then there is a system that is triggered somewhere so that then the maintenance team can rush there and open it up. But to me, I think that is the best decision ever.
Okay. Do you think also, I mean, you mentioned the issues of blockages and drainage issues that we have in Nairobi, capital city, and even other cities in the country and other towns. And these blockages don't originate from a vacuum. It's people dumping. Does it also? Do you also think it points into the habits of Kenyans or discipline? You see people throwing. Sometimes you're driving, someone throwing a bottle off the window, yogurt whatever can. You see someone throwing a paper bag. Mokaya, even as we speak about going to Singapore, do you think Kenyans have you think we have the right
there's a place
the right habit for Singapore?
There's a place of our manners in the problems we go through. Our manners have a place or have a contribution to make. But I'll think on the drainage or even the environmental aspect of Nairobi, we have a role to play. It doesn't come as garbage. A heap starts with one disposal. So if you don't take care of that one can that you needed to put in a dustbin, and I want to thank the county government, they have done a good job in placing dustbins everywhere. You can't look around and don't see a dustbin. But we have the software to understand that your car is better dirty than the whole environment, because you can control your environment inside your car, but you can't control the filth, even cholera, if it breaks out in this town. But also, I want to throw a spanner in the works that does our approval processes or even the development strategy come before infrastructure, or do we approve houses, then we realize, hapa Kileleshwa, there were 4 people per acre, there are 100 now, so where are we taking their sewage? So then I think that's a question you want to answer even on the face of this collaboration, that do we master plan before we approve development, or do we approve development,
then we plan around development.
Then bulk infrastructure follows panic. Because if you've been to Kilimani lately, you realize there is a lot of it's a development, it's a mjengo site. Then you ask yourself, if in Kileleshwa there were bungalows which don't rise above 2 floors, now we're having 30. So it means where there were a family of 5 in a duplex, there'll be 1,000 families, which means more cars, because nobody who can pay 60 and above doesn't have a car or 2. Then it means more pressure on the draining system. Also more garbage to be collected per square meter. Then you realize the development office of Nairobi, did it foresee this urbanization, this influx in population per square meter? Or then are we having blocked sewerage? And then we're having traffic, because if we leave at 8, all of us in Kileleshwa, we meet for a summit kidogo hapo in traffic before we go to where we are going.
Wherever you're proceeding to.
You see, maybe also, I think that's a very good concern. Not even a question, but a concern that all of us should look into. But again, you want to ask yourself, how many people, for instance, vote in Nairobi? How many people out of all the Nairobi residents, how many vote in Nairobi?
We always have a world-based migration.
That is it.
Where we want to
that is it. So,
especially at Western Kenya.
So I'm imagining if I'm vying for a governor of Nairobi, and you work out, you're coming up with your manifesto, with your plan on what you want to achieve. Most of the time, people look back at who are my residents of Nairobi. You are not able to tell who else will come in. Now with the high growth of urban, is it rural to urban migration that we are experiencing?
Actually, even me at home, Kiambu is the bedroom of Nairobi.
And also Kiambu. So you are not just planning for Nairobi alone, but you're also planning for the entire country, to be fair. And you see now, and if you look at how much revenue also gets to Nairobi, even though shareable revenue, you are not given revenue because you also anticipate influx from other counties. Those other counties are given revenue, their own revenue, based on the population in those areas. But you now, at any given time, you are being given revenue attendant to what you feel a resident or a citizen who are resident in Nairobi. Probably also, because it's political, you're looking at those who vote in Nairobi. But at the end of the day, you have to share those scarce resources with everybody's. I think the idea of affordable housing and embracing the scarecroppers is actually targeting to resolve some of these issues, because Kileleshwa and those sides of Lavington, there were times when they were now those rich suburbs,
Yes.
where you'll have maybe your own house on a half an acre. Today, that is not even
It's not possible.
It's not possible. You will even feel out of place putting your small house there, and your neighbors there are all over 1,000, like over hundreds
They're
of
having
them.
an aerial view.
Yeah, aerial view of what you're doing in
20th
there.
floor.
So now I think we have embarked on that journey. Slowly we are going to phase out these single residences, bungalows. And then as we phase out, we need also to provide, because the new building model, I think they're also now taking into consideration, like you say, the transportation routes, and now we need to invest more into public transport. In many cities where you are seeing an upsurge in population, people have invested in the, railways, so you have these railways, network system, their roads, their major roads, the tram system, where, those train systems, it becomes easy. You leave your car at your home, you jump onto the public system, you connect to where you're going to work, be it market. You only use your car when it's weekend and you want to drive out of town. You find it cheap. I think we are headed there. I believe that's where we are headed. And as we go to Singapore, there's no way we'll reach Singapore without a robust public transport system. I think we are getting there. Who knew that we'll have the expressway? You remember when conversation around the expressway started? Many people were up in the arms. Oh, why are you doing? Nowadays it's even interesting. I think we need many expressways.
Actually, you've even forgotten that there was a normal road below it. Because these days you cannot imagine.
And nowadays you even find the traffic
on expressway.
on the expressway. So now citizens are asking, we need more of such kind of expressways all over the city. I think that's where we are headed. So we are on the right path.
Asante. And actually, in Europe, another number of countries, it's the rich who use public transport. It's actually the poor who drive their cars.
That's true. That's true. You
Because
save
it's
on
more
time.
efficient.
It's more efficient.
Sitting there, you're doing your thing.
You don't have to waste your time 2 hours in
Driving
traffic, and it's not productive actually to drive during weekdays in many countries. And I think that's where we are headed.
That's where we need to go.
With time,
Tutafika.
But then you asked a question about also our behavior.
Yes.
Our bad behavior. Honestly, you find someone just throwing trash outside the window, and then you ask this person, really? And it's worse when it's these big cars.
Yeah.
The car is nicer than
And they're the first ones to say the roads are blocked.
It's not fair. So it's I don't know how we will get to align to the culture of civilization. No, probably the word is not even civilization, but of consciousness on everything that we do.
Maybe ownership. If you cascade it enough to realize it's not Sakaja city, it's also my city.
It is also my city. Yeah.
And it's correct. It's your neighborhood.
You know, where I reside, there's that river. You know, that notorious river.
That famous river.
Nairobi River.
Oh, my friend. Not far. So sometimes you look at it, and it's because of the garbage that we throw all around, and the sewer that we... So you ask yourself, you could be driving big cars, you could be staying in those posh estates, but whatever is, you do it. Maybe you are throwing those trash somewhere else and not where you live, but it will come back.
It will find you.
It will find you.
Correct.
It will come back.
And when the roads block, when you're on Mombasa Road and you live in Lavington, you get stuck in Mombasa Road. It doesn't care where you are.
So I think maybe we need to start to revisit our civic education. And start now mainstreaming and entrenching a good citizenry culture, you know, right from the early education, so that everybody knows, become conscious about environment, your environment around you. You're not doing this as a matter of compliance, but you're doing it because it's the right thing to do. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Apparently, toddlers are wrong to that. If you sit with a child in the car, the child is the first person to tell you, don't litter.
But
With
what
time,
happens?
tell them that good manners is not for us.
All right, Ibrahim is watching from MC. Asante sana. Kenneth Kivuta Itet. Asante. Washira Omwema, loud and clear from Embu. Thank you. Victor K. Bet, great show. Asante sana. Koromicha, watching and listening live. Thank you so much. Nijoni, let us know where you're watching us from. Like, share, and let us know where you're watching us from. Larry Rono anasema PS wa Nyota. Haya, karibu sana Larry. Umesikia?
We are into it before getting into it.
Umesikia Nyota? Mokaya. Umesikia Nyota? Umesikia historia ya Nyota?
Unajua ukiambiwa huna nyota, it means you have no luck.
Hata mwisho tulisikia mambo ya Nyota ilikuwa Ezekiel.
Ama your enemies wamezima nyota.
So have you heard about Nyota?
I've heard about Nyota. I've seen Nyota.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are mixed. And I think my thoughts really don't matter when we have PS Nyota here. So why should
it's important to know your thoughts. Because you are a recipient of Nyota.
No, this one is overqualified. How will he be?
I'm too successful.
But maybe indirectly, yes. Yeah, people around him, probably.
Yes, I know people who have benefited from Nyota.
Yeah.
And I want to believe if they had the right mentality, they could benefit from it. Like there are stories we throw around. They are convenient buzzwords that we like saying for likes and retweets and followerships on TikTok. That chukua pesa tuende sherehe nayo. But I also believe that we have few A's does not mean we close schools. Yes.
Alright. So, nilikuwa nimeuliza views what he thinks about Nyota. Looks like he's playing safe on his thoughts.
No, we can't write with matter. We have to look here.
You want your thoughts. You are the citizen. When you are here.
But
My thoughts. When you are here.
You see, Gerald, also, you're not being fair to him. First of all, he's not a potential beneficiary. Let's begin from there.
But this guy comes from a community. I know where he comes from.
No, yeah, he comes from.
And you are there, isn't
it? Yeah.
Gerald, my thoughts on Nyota are public.
Okay. And this is a public space.
And very public because Kenya One shared my thoughts that I had placed in some forum. My thoughts in Nyota are that our stories are very humble. Though with luck and even
you're the one.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure. Our stories are humble. And most of us who have come this far have stories to tell about what the figures that Nyota presents could have done to us back then. We know of the trolleys that we buy smocha from. That is Nyota there. We know of the mamambogas that believed in this government. What they need is not even more than Nyota. We know of the Gikomba stories, the people we buy things from. We call them thrifts. Zile viatu design ambazo we can't afford from the shop. Those people, when they go to buy their stocks, their budgets don't go beyond Nyota. Their products we consume like Fuliza. Fuliza is actually Nyota on the credit side. That the 10,000 you get to do your trade for a day and repay, Nyota gives you that opportunity. So there are questions we can ask, but first we can't proceed without recognizing that there is a question this Nyota program answers. And it answers it so fluently that we don't burden our people with debt, number one. We don't even burden them to doing things that people do for those amounts. You want to listen to people at Luangni Beach and understand how far our women are willing to go for the things we sell. They don't have to do that. We don't have to have children born because a woman had to sleep with a fishmonger for stock. That is not right there. So there are questions we answer that those questions are not as public, they're not as popular. How much does it take to get a deposit for Boda Boda? It's 20,000. Right there is Nyota. How much do you get a kibanda for? Here. Over and above knowing an MCA is favorable, you need a deposit. 6,000, 10,000. Your stock will not go beyond that. So while we are willing to go to the degree stories and the blue, white ties, red ties and white shirts, there are stories we forget. the stories that put mboga in our nice houses, the stories that deliver our parcels to the next office, the stories that get fish from the lake to our tables, the unbanked, unsophisticated, the dirty hands that have clean money, the school fees of our schools, the consumers of our apps and our beautiful stories, the loans we give, the phones we sell on Lipa Mdogo Mdogo. Who finances those small transactions? Nyota gives you the capacity and the training ground to play with money that's not yours, to play with money that's not debt, and to give people the opportunities to learn, to try, to invest, to make the 300 shillings every day that makes Safaricom a big company. Yeah.
Piers,
Mokaya
tell us about Nyota.
I think Mokaya has done it.
Has done a better job.
And you know, it's good
tell us
to
about
hear
this.
this from, people who are not directly implementing the program. Because sometimes when we try to explain what you're trying to do, some people feel we are just talking from probably a theoretical perspective, or we are just trying to defend our initiative. But why Nyota? If that is your question, why Nyota? You first of all look at these figures.
What is it exactly, Kwanza? Nyota.
Nyota is National Youth Opportunities. And I want you to underline the word opportunities towards advancement. So we link you up, we expose you to opportunities so then you can unlock your potential. We believe that every young person has got great potential and the more socio-economic potential from their talents, from their skills, even from their age and the numeric strength, if you are to bring them together. They live in a moment, the current youth population live in a moment where they've gone to school better than the rest of the population, by the way. These young people, and they are global citizen, as opposed to us, who most of us, we look at things probably from the village perspective. This one has been exposed, save for the technology. Most of these young people are very innovative. The young people who are looking forward to come up with solution, and they're daring, they're trying to do something to change their current status. So we are presiding over young people that have ideas, but what they lack are just enablers that can enable them now put those ideas into fruition. Now let me give you some figures so that you see why Nyota, why did we come up with this project, and why this intervention. So you've had statistics, and many people talk about the current statistics, our demographics, saying we are now becoming young and young every day. More than 70% of our population are youth. Now, every year we are having more than 800,000, actually close to 1 million, becoming of working age. A population becoming of working age. Now, our current job market can only accommodate less than 200,000. So we end up having a deficit of more than 800,000 outside there who have to figure out how to, put food on the table and how to survive. So we kind of, we are like in a survival, society. You have to make ends meet. Now, in the next 10 to 15 years, what experts are saying is that the developing nation are likely to bring into the job market more than 1.6 billion. So in other words, we are going to experience a bulge of close to 1.6 billion young people becoming of working age. Now, in the next 10 to 15 years, the developing nation, of which Kenya is one of them. Now, then within that period, the jobs, if we continue with the current trends in job creation the way they are, we are likely to realize only 400 million jobs. So 400 million jobs created over that period against the 1.6 billion jobs that are required or unemployment population. So what now the experts are saying, and especially World Bank, is urging nations and governments that we need to start investing early. And who are we investing in? To the young people, so that they can prepare to create jobs to take care of that upsurge in the job market. Now, the sector that now has got room to create jobs is MSME. You know, sometimes I see argument, people saying, why can't you pump that money into industries? But the question is, in the next 10, 20 years, who will be running those industries? So you start preparing today the next generation of industrialists, the next generation of manufacturers, the next generation of business people. You must start preparing them. They will not fall from the sky. They will be from these young people that we have today. Now, Nyota is a job creation pipeline. Maybe the best way to understand it is a job creation pipeline that has got two pathways. The first pathway is where we target to enhance youth employability, to enhance your employability, through skilling, through job placement, through exposing you to work environment so that you can gain the necessary exposure, necessary knowledge, so then you become more competitive, whenever to the job market, because we have also been blamed that we're channeling out, for instance, graduates or a population from school who their skills are not matching what is required in a market. We've had those kind of complaints all over. They are not employable skills. So, but for Nyota, we realize that whereas we've achieved much in terms of education, we have tried to pull our population into the formal education, we still have a significant portion of our population that either did not go to school or the highest level of education is only Form 4. And this one was demonstrated when we designed this project, and we say it's going to target the most marginalized and vulnerable young people between 18 to 29 years and up to 35 for persons with disability. And when we talk about the marginalized, these are people who are not exposed to opportunities. Some of them are orphans, some of them single family, some of them did not get anybody to support them. They are from child-led households and all, or elderly-led households and all of that. So Nyota is targeted to, first of all, that segment of the population. And so when we rolled out application window, we were met with more than 2 million applicants for the business support who came out and expressed. Out of them, those who had gone beyond Form 4 were about 200,000. So we are talking about the real world we are looking into outside here. We have a significant proportion of our population that has not advanced beyond Form 4 level education and therefore cannot be competitive in accessing those, white collar jobs or any other, those, secure jobs, like formal jobs. They cannot be competitive in the formal job markets because either they don't have a certificate, but they have to survive. Yeah. Some of these people already have families, by the way. And some of them have children for our young ladies because they come from environment that are vulnerable. So they're exposed to all these sometimes social uphills and nobody supporting them because their social capital is very low. So we said we want to deploy a targeted approach in empowering our young people in this country. So we have to know that young people are not homogeneous. And sometimes why the existing initiative have not probably been successful to the level of Nyota is because they were not targeted. We were assuming that all young people are the same, and we were defining young people just based on the age. Well, between 18 to 35, you are a young person. So imagine the needs of this young person who is a graduate, and probably that one who has not gone to school are the same. And to me, that has been really misleading. And so as a government, we sat down and we said, this time round we have to deploy targeted approach so that we come up with a different intervention targeting the different segments of young people and their different level of needs. And so this is what you're doing. So Nyota is focusing on that segment of our young people who are also, as you've seen the numbers, they're there, vulnerable, they've not progressed beyond Form 4. Now, the pathway on the enhancing their employability also targets to recognize the existing skills and knowledge. Now, you see, when we came in, we adopted the policy on recognition of prior learning. And so we have our young people, let's say they're good carpenters, they're good plumbers, even these bodabodas, and you've seen most of them, they know how to ride those bikes, but they have not even gone to a driving school, but they know how to do it. What those young people need, and we have so many good fundis outside there who have not even stepped in class, but they can design a house. How do we recognize that so that we certify the skills? So Nyota has provided an opportunity to recognize at least 20,000 of such young people with varying skills depending on their interest, and across the country, because our unit of implementation is ward. So we want to empower 20,000 from various sectors. If you have existing skills, through NITA, we'll come and do an assessment and give you a certificate. So you can still get your certificate without having gone through the formal learning process, so that then we can give them an opportunity to get employed or even to do business where a certificate is required. So that's the recognition of prior learning. Now, the second track under that pathway of skilling and placement is on-job experience. So where we attach you to the working environment. For instance, you have an interest in the hair salon. You want to become a hair salonist. But you see, you feel that, yes, you have a talent, you know how to do it, but you can become better if you get attached to the business itself. So you learn on job. The beauty with learning on job, you will acquire practical knowledge, but then you'll also get to understand the networks in that particular ecosystem, so that after a period of time, you become more or less the same an expert in what you're doing, because practical knowledge, you're doing it, Maybe you start by, like the way we go to kinyozi and salon, you start by washing hair. That's what I usually see those apprentices doing. You start by washing your hair, and with time you start applying chemical like that. After 6 months, you become an expert in that particular sector. You can begin your own business, or you'll also have known who else, other businesses, other networks. And then now you increase your chances of being absorbed in that sector, of getting a job, or even starting your own business, because now you know the rules of game, what happens, customers, how to approach customers, how to treat them. That one is targeting to empower 90,000 young people across all the 1450 wards in the Republic of Kenya. That's the first pathway where we target to enhance the youth employability through skilling and exposure to work environment. The second pathway is targeting to expand youth employment opportunities. Expand. Now creating more jobs. But the tracks there are the entrepreneurship. So we want to expand employment opportunities through businesses. So we also have another cohort of young people who wants to be job creators, who want to start their own enterprises to create their own jobs, and also create jobs for other young people, either directly or indirectly. Because that Mama Mboga, do you know that Mama Mboga creates jobs indirectly? Those bodabodas, He has given them a sustainable jobs every day. You're bringing me those burgers, you're picking from here. And if that mama mboga was to close the shop, what happens is that even that boda also will go under. His business will go under. So now, the philosophy around here is that whereas we have young people who are looking for jobs, who wants to be employed, placed somewhere, we should also start building a community of young people who can now become job creators through businesses. So now this the entrepreneurial pathway, what you're achieving there, number one is training. When we started this project, people are saying, how can you trust these young people will eat this money, will not do anything? And that was really wrong, because I've encountered stories of these young people and dedication. Young people telling you, this is the first time that we're handling this kind of money, even in our phones. A young person telling you, it is not possible for even a relative, after you have finished Form 4, to even give you 5,000. You struggle to ask for it. They will not, and you'll have to tell so many stories for them even to give you 5,000. Because first of all, they look at you as suspect. Why do you want this money? So these young people, they also realize that we don't have jobs. But young people know that we have no job, because you finish school, you tarmac even for 3 years, 4 years before you can encounter something that can support you. Now, these young people, what they're looking for is economic engagement. Most of them, it may not even be jobs, but can I have an opportunity to generate some economic value? Can I do something that gives me at least I can earn an income on a daily basis? This is what they're looking for. And that's why I said we are presiding over a young population that is more innovative. They're thinking even ahead of their time. Today, if you ask any young person there, I'm looking for someone who can sell me a phone or this kind of a thing. Yeah, they will have an idea. Yeah, they say, ulikuwa unataka aje, ngapi, utatoa ngapi. So they want to engage in the economy. It's only that opportunities which are limited. So now for that particular pathway of entrepreneurship, where we saw the highest response ever, we've had initiatives targeting young people for entrepreneurship, but this particular one, the response was high. Almost 2 million, like I said, 200,000 were those who were college and university graduates. So them, of course, we had to eliminate them, because the target this time around is for these young people. So we train them, we take them through a very comprehensive BDS support program, and they are supported by experts. These are business development experts, from the ideation to the market linkages to even counseling and mentorship, because even in business you go through shocks, so you need to counsel and to see how you can prepare, how you can pick yourself up in the event of any shocks. So they go through the first level of training is usually introduction to basics, the basic skills on business. But even before that stage, you have to undertake the entrepreneurship aptitude test, so which enabled us to assess the mindset, the business mindset, because we believe in business, it's never about how much money you're injecting in, but it's your mindset. If you have a business mind, that 5,000 shillings can take you places. 22,000 shillings can take you places, because where is my market, who is my customer, what do I need to say right now? So they're introduced to the basic business skills on the ideation. So each one of them is encouraged to come up with an idea. And we decentralize this training. Because whereas people say politics is local, we also believe business is local. Because if you cannot underscore the opportunities that are within your space where you reside in, then you can never do business anywhere. You begin by appreciating the business opportunities where you live, those societal challenges that you think are problem, those are the ones that emerges to become good entrepreneurial ideas when you come up with solution. So we decentralize this training to the constituencies, to the wards, so that those young people can now start appreciating what are the opportunities in my ward, in my village. What is it that I can do? What is lacking? And that's where they invest in. And then eventually then you start expanding your business, then you can grow, and who knows, you can then become a global businessman or businesswoman. So we do that. Then also the trainers. We also insisted that, and this we had to insist that to those BDS farms that they need to recruit trainers.
You say BDS, it sounds to me as a technical term. And
so it's sorry, it's a BDS. Sorry, sometimes we have to go technical because business. Okay, it's like business training, skilling. It's business development services. So you skilling. It's not just training alone. Sometimes you mentor, you get mentored. They support you on linkages. For instance, if I'm in the business of vegetable vending, they can make you get to understand who you can now expand your market to, how you can supply to a supermarket or a hotel, those kind of linkages. And then they mentor you on how, even pricing of your products, because sometimes you find our people do not even understand the market prices. So that entire support system is what now they achieve through the BDS. But it's from the ideation. So to make sure they reposition you're thinking well. And there are some young people who came into the training with these ideas, I want to do this kind of business. But after that training, after that exposure, they had to rethink the kind of business that is viable. So it's to assess the viability of your business idea and to help you now to understand on how to go about it, the opportunities which are there. Sometimes, we've seen people, even because everybody else is doing this business, opening a cyber.
Mentality.
I also want to open cyber. I also want to do M-Pesa. But you do not know. So where are the customer? How do you profile your clientele, your customers? So that first level of training was to debunk the common myths about doing business and just reshape now their thinking. Now, after that, then after the training is when now we gave them the first tranche of the startup capital. Then from next week,
you'll be doing the second
all of them are, they're going for mentorship of 2 months. We want them to see value in that 22,000. And remember...
So how many people are this you're talking about? 2 million?
No, we are talking about not 2 million. Not every...
2 million. Okay.
No, 2 million were
so
the applicants, but we went through the process. The target was... initially, our initial target was 70. Our magical number actually is 70 that can cause some economic transformation.
70,000.
No, 70 youth.
70.
No, relax. 70 per ward.
Per ward.
Are you there? So a magical number is 70 per every ward. So we're talking about 1450 ward. That's almost 100,000. The ones that are going to benefit from this phase. However, because we all know that many businesses struggle to overcome even their first anniversary. Most of them get, So we were targeting higher at 120%. So in other words, we were targeting 84
per ward
in every ward. So we are talking about across the country, we've reached out and we've trained and we are going to empower 121,800 young people who have come out nationally from each and every ward.
So you
it doesn't
mentioned
matter
the
where
word,
you
because
come from.
One of the things, of course, that we also encounter out here, because we also come from societies and communities. The question is, you're talking about 70 or 80 from a ward of close to over 7,000. young people probably. So how do you, first of all, once unajua sasa tumeenda kwa beneficiary and youuliza where if I want to benefit today from Nyota, where do I start? Okay, what is the application procedure? Okay. Secondly, after apply, how do you decide that out of 7,000 youth from my ward, you're going to settle for these 70? Ama unakuona tunasema wewe unakaa kama unaweza fanya vizuri.
So let me walk through
that's very
those stages. First of all, this is we deployed the digital technology, and especially mobile technology. Why? Because this is the only way that we would have achieved equity across the country. We leveraged on the progress that we have made in the mobile technology spread across, and in this country, at least each and every household, you cannot miss to find a phone, even if it's a Katululu phone. And that's why the application channel was USSD code. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So what we did, so it wasn't smart. So those who wanted to do it was USSD code, which is zero rated. There was no airtime that is needed. Throughout the application process, assessment, and even up to the point where we have to invite them to come for disbursement, and even as we'll be doing mentorship. So we leveraged on the Star 254 hash platform, the one that houses the HASL fund, the Financial Inclusion Fund, because this is one platform that is zero rated. So you can engage to as many Kenyans as you do not need airtime. Remember, we are targeting the most vulnerable, the most marginalized, who may not even have airtime. You know? So first of all, we made sure that is a level playing field to every young Kenyan, so that each one of them may not, every young Kenyan will have an opportunity at least to apply, those that were meeting the qualifications. So you cannot say that I've been discriminated because I don't have smartphone, or I cannot afford data, I cannot afford airtime. We dealt with all those barriers. Now, after that, again through the digital process, we then reached out to them and deployed the entrepreneurial aptitude test. So they had to undertake EAT. We call it EAT in the short form. If you ask most of them, they will tell you. So they were subject, after we did the cleanup, the kind of cleanup from those 2 million, number one was, you must not have benefited from the earlier phase, which was KYOP. Remember there was KYOP? Yeah. Because we're also getting some repeat beneficiaries who wanted, and because resources are limited, we wanted to get new beneficiaries. Okay. So we had, first of all, to eliminate those that, and because it's digital, we could see in the system those that had benefited from the earlier phase, which was KYOP, because this is a scale-up of KYOP. KYOP only targeted 17 counties. This one now was targeting the entire country, all the 47 and 1,450 wards. The other criteria, or other eligibility criteria, was you should not also be currently benefiting from climate works. And that one I think was applicable to the Nairobi, because climate work so far has been rolled out in Nairobi. Because we also found we had also significant number of applicants who are also doing climate works. And you see, if you are doing that project and you're doing this, you will not have time to do the two programs. So after we removed that, we remained with almost, and of course we had again to lock out those that had education qualification beyond college, beyond Form 4. So we had to remove the 200,000 that were college and university students. So then we remained with a population of almost 800,000. So these 800,000, we subjected them to the entrepreneurship aptitude test. Again, they were doing this themselves through their phone. There were about 19 questions, which they will answer. Certain simple question that jogs your mind. We want just to decide whether you are just joking or truly you want to do business. And we had to do that, to take them through that test, because around that time, we had also rolled out application for the skilling programs, the one we are talking about, RPL, as well as OJE, so that if you felt your place is not entrepreneurship, then you had an opportunity just to apply the RPL or OJE, where you'll be skilled and attached to a working environment, if that was your pathway. So out of them, about 450,000 completed the EAT test, the entrepreneurial aptitude test.
Yes.
And then based on that population now, first of all, we had to ensure 50-50 gender distribution in each and every ward, and then also ensure that there is equality, not even equity, there was equality, because each and every ward, we needed the same number. So you could get, for instance, out of those 400,000, some populated wards had the highest distribution, so we had to select and then cap it. And based on the results from the EAT test, so each and every ward or every constituency had their own, you work out the pass mark. So the pass mark was not like generalized across. So we were dealing with every ward depending on their own circumstances and their situation. Because again, if you took a young person, let's say from a Nairobi ward, because of the exposure, if you were to compare the results, and come up with the national pass mark, then you lock out so many. You cannot compare a Nairobi young person with a young person, let's say, from a ward in Mandera or from Boni Forest there, a ward there, Basuba ward there. So we had to assess based on, so selectively. So you are in this ward, you are doing, we are assessing based on the ward outcome to give us now the ranking. And that's how now they were selected.
So these young people are competing with their peers, both in age and locality.
And also locality from where they come from. And so there you get the best who have really demonstrated that traction towards doing entrepreneurship. And that's why when now we move to the next level of training, so then from there now, those who are selected. So we have a pool. So we can say those who completed EAT, regardless of the ranking, they are in a pool. Okay. So you first of all, you must have some sort of preference, the order, those that you're beginning with. So like we say, if you come from this ward and you are the top, let's say the top 84, we picked those top 84. But the pool is still there. So that if along the way, let's say during the training, those that we have invited to come to the training, they don't turn up, or there are 5 or a few who do not turn up, then we go back to the pool.
Second best.
Then you pick from there.
And we pull from there.
So
it was really a fair process.
Yeah, process.
And the first time I've seen these young people, the first time we've got to see them, it was during the training that we were able to see those young people. Because even for them to be invited for training, it was purely digital through their phone. The same number that you applied with is the same number that you undertook your EAT, is the same number that you receive correspondences, you invited to training. All correspondences are there. So there was no so much involvement of human biasness, because we did not know that. I do not even know those that come from my own ward. Yeah. So, but they've been there. They've been training. We disbursed to them. And I think this is how fair this project was. And this is what makes it much more different from other initiatives, because you did not need to know your MP or your MCA or even anyone in the program to be selected. It was your form. And because it's also randomized based on those criteria that we have talked about, all young people that participated had a fair chance, and especially those that had gone through those processes up to the EAT. And even those that have remained, it is still a pool. And that pool, if we experience any shortage along the way, even during mentorship, we can go back there and first of all exhaust the pool, and then after that we can roll out new application.
Okay. So I'll take 2 questions there from the viewers. One of them, Koromicha, is saying he feels discriminated on age limit.
That's a good question.
Because sasa mheshimiwa, unajua biashara sasa ina miaka. Sasa kwa mimi ni mkongwe lakini I still stand a chance to do business.
But we have other initiatives that are targeting people who are beyond the age bracket that we are currently addressing. In the MSME sector, we have Kenya Industrial Estate that supports MSME in the manufacturing. It gives them patient capital, but also very affordable. Kenya Industrial Estate was established around 1967, and with the sole purpose of supporting the Kenyans who are interested in venturing into the manufacturing sector. It was a kind of an intervention that were policy intervention targeted because they realized we want Kenyans to start investing, and around that time, the colonialists and all those their businesses were vacating. So we needed to bring in Kenya, but you needed also to come up with affordable financing for them. So Kenya Industrial Estate has been there, and I can tell you, Gerald, that many of these industries that you're seeing, which are local industries, most of them they started with KIE, and with time they now got competitiveness to get funding from now the commercial banks. So we've had such kind of initiative. Secondly, we have Youth Enterprise Fund has been there. Again, targeting the youths who could be, highly educated, beyond the level of education that we're looking for. It's been there. And it's still there. So, like I said, we are just doing a targeted approach. I have Uwezo Fund, which again, for those who are beyond that age,
they can access
outside the age limit, can also come together aggregate together as a group and entity, and then they can borrow even up to 500,000. And you see, the facility from Uwezo Fund is usually interest free. You're not paying any interest, and it's not even collateralized. It's a Nyota at a certain level, targeting groups. There's no collateral. You guarantee the fact that you are in a group, you guarantee each other. That's the collateral that you need to belong to a group. You can borrow up to 500,000, and there is no interest. Is what you need to do, you use it to start up your income generating activities, because it's revolving. Once you start, realizing a profit and some markups, you pay back so that other people can also benefit from the kitty. So what I'm saying, we have many initiatives, but this time round we are trying to target. Okay. Now, these young people of Nyota, after this, we believe after 6 months, which will be hand-holding them through mentorship, through startup capital support, and that BDS and skilling and linkages, they will now have come of age now to graduate to this other initiative, like Youth Enterprise Fund. So it is kind of a pipeline that is nurturing our young entrepreneurs, so that then they can acquire the experience that you need. Today even to do a business, let alone even accessing financing. But for you to get access to a guaranteed market, people will also have to assess your experience, whether are you going to fail me? Can I trust you? So trust element is very key to a business person. So what the government has done, has created a platform where young people who wants to become entrepreneur can start now also building the experience, understanding the ecosystem, the space, what works, what doesn't work. Like if you are in the hustling language, say understanding the street, so that then they can find their way and navigate the way out. Acquiring and building up some level of social capital, which most of them, because they're vulnerable, do not really have. They don't even have anyone who can hold them hand. So the government of Kenya is now holding their hands through that exposure and that experience. And these are the people. The journey for Singapore, by the way, these are also key players in that journey. Because if you want, let's say by in the next 20 years or so to be Singapore, these young people that you are supporting today, the 18 years, the 29 years, and up to 35 years, they are persons with disability. These people will also have grown their business. As they grow, they also do grow their business, they expand, they scale up. They're the ones who will be setting up all this industry. They will be our next generation of billionaires. These are the people who will change the economic landscape now. So the overage, who are saying you discriminated, and one time I met with a group of young people who are above 35, and they told me, Madam PS, no, that you are Nyota, we are not eligible for Nyota. Can you consider establishing a Jua fund? No, Jua fund. Sino is Nyota. Jua fund or Moon fund. I don't know if you get what I mean. So now, Nyota is for the young people. So now, why can't you, even as like women's, we want either Jua or Moon fund, so that we can also be supported. But I think even the point which they are raising and what you're trying to do, we will reach there. Okay. We want to be coming up with targeted initiatives that speaks to a specific segment of the population, so that we can do more, other than just generalizing and wanting everybody to compete within the same conditions. I think this has been one of our major undoing in our MSME space, because we come up with the facilities and we say, okay, some like now, Youth Enterprise Fund, and we imagine that a young person who has just left school can be competitive and can access.
Okay. Madam PS, I think I had the same question that you have answered so well, and hearing you speak, you see this is the first program that qualifications disqualify you. or even age. But now, with good cause, from your explanation, I'm wondering, from your explanation, I read that not that there are no products like this, not that there are no opportunities for the people you have chosen to exclude, but those things have not been sold as loudly as Nyota Fund. I want to believe that they still fall somewhere within either your purview or the unitary government approach. So then, if there is this Youth Enterprise Fund that people like me qualify for, and there is this Hustler Fund that other people are benefiting from, then is it a matter of we are not, is it that there is no enough publicity, or there is no enough civic education to understand that this Nyota is not the only Nyota that there is. There are other Nyotas that maybe are not as publicized as Nyota.
I think yes. Probably sensitization could be one of the reasons. But again, if you have to sensitize the people with an objective of them now taking action, getting to understand what is happening there, we have to be targeted. I think we need to reorganize this initiative. For instance, the Youth Enterprise Fund, from where I sit now, we move it from the early stage, like the early stage businesses, like I'm just coming, the startup kind of, not tech startup, but kind of businesses. And we position it as a facility that can now graduate these young people as they expand their business. But the initial engagement in business, like I've said, even if you are a first-class student and you come out of university, and today someone gives you, let's say you are an engineer or a medical student and you've graduated first class, top of the tire, and someone gives you money to do business. That skill has not been enterprised. You will flop. You still need some level of experience. You still need some kind of skilling, even the soft skills. Are you still needing some sort of knowledge exposure to understand even the industry or the sector, or how to go about it and setting up your business? So that's why we need to create, and I was just sharing with some of our friends some days ago, that remember when we had the NYS concept, the earlier years, when you say you after high school you go to NYS, so you get a reposition. They used to say you get shaped properly. Then from there now you go for now the specialized training, the professional training. There was a purpose for that. Now, in business also, if you come from class, immediately you need some environment where you can get to understand, like to incubate you for some time, so that then from there you become more decisive on what you want to do. And I think that's what has been missing. So sometimes it's not that we don't do a lot of publicity. The publicity is there. But how do I receive that information? Do I have capacity? Do I have capabilities at that particular time to utilize that opportunity? Like I just said, youth enterprise has been there. Uwezo Fund has been there. So let's say maybe I dropped out of school. I hear this is for the young people. But is it really targeting me? Yes, we present it as for young people. But which segment of young people? So I think that differentiation is what has been lacking in this initiative, because we tend to bucket together the entire youth population and say, here we have this initiative targeting you. Even Nyota, we could as well have opened up. But you imagine a young person who has a company. Will Nyota be for him or for her? No. Isn't it? Because that young person is already at a certain level. So I think the approach which we have now deployed as a government of becoming more targeted, let's segment these young people in terms of what is the economic positioning that they are. Have they gone to school? Have they not gone to, have they not gone to school? Are they graduate? Are they already in business? Which kind of business? The level. So once we understand the level of intervention, it becomes very easy for us now to come up with successful intervention. Like now Nyota. Nyota is successful because it is resonating well to the targeted group. That's why even if we have this noise all over saying, what can 50,000 do? If you dare go tell that Nyota person, Nyota beneficiary right now, he looks at you or she looks at you and wonders whether you live in her space. You don't live in her world. So I think I agree with you. We need to do more sensitization. But the most important thing is for us to start looking at young people as existing in different levels, different spaces, and channeling out in intervention that speaks to their context.
To their needs. Okay. And before I go to comments, I would like to also to still follow up on the question by Wakili. And this has been one of the criticism that you're receiving, of course, from the political end. Why is Nyota getting all this attention? And you have all these other packages, these other solutions that we've talked about. You talked about Uwezo Fund. You had Asla Fund as well, that was being rallied as one of the projects. You have all these funds that exist within your ministry. But Nyota suddenly is getting the attention it's getting, even having the president moving around to launch it. Why is the president not distributing Uwezo Fund? Why is he not distributing all the other funds? Why is Nyota getting the attention that every other fund is not getting?
So I think first of all is the design. This is a deliberate initiative, by the way, and it's arising from a bottom-up economic transformation agenda. So when we said, and you saw many times people have come out to say, you said you'll form government with the hustlers. I think, Wakili, you've heard those kind of things. And the last 2 years I've been meeting, narratives, you've forgotten about the hustlers, isn't it? You're right now, I don't know, doing this for people at the top and not people at the bottom of the economic pyramid. So the targeted beneficiaries of Nyota belong to the bottom of the economic pyramid. And the government is implementing the promise. This is the promise that we made, that for us to grow our economy in the measures that we desire, we must first of all unlock economic participation at the bottom of the economic pyramid, because that's where we have majority of Kenyans residing. And one way of doing this is to make sure that at least every Kenyan who has come of age is at least doing something. Why that is necessary? the last 3 years we've been crying of our pockets. Okay, say, okay, fine, taxation and everything. The reason this is happening is that we have a small segment of our population who are participating actively in the economy, those who are at the top of the pyramid. And if we were to put that into figures, so we have a potential workforce today of about 20 million Kenyans. Those who can do something in the economy, they've come of age. However, the formal sector or the formal employment only accounts for 3.5 million. There are only 3.5 million. So majority of them are in the informal kind of engagement. Now, those in the formal sector or the formal employment or sector, these are the ones now who are shouldering the burden. So the 3.5 million Kenyans that are working are the ones that we have to depend on their income tax and many of these things that we have to do. But aside from where we as government also get the revenues that we get from there and the taxes, they also shoulder what we call those societal, the burden, you know. Like most of these people at the bottom of the economic pyramid depend on the few who are at the top, either directly or indirectly. So what is the best way of even mitigating that pain at the top is to make sure that the people at the bottom of the economic pyramid are engaged economically. If not for anything, at least to put food on the table. They'll be reducing the pressure at the top. And that's why our development approach was then, how can we grow the economy from the bottom? You stimulate engagement at the bottom. Make sure that no one is left behind so that then you can get to widen the tax bracket and ease the burden that is currently being experienced at the few people who are now formally engaged in our economy. Now, when you say why Nyota, I think it's just the design. We gave it a deliberate design, and we say it is going to be targeted, and this is in line with the agenda of His Excellency the President. The other reason why I have seen people talk about why is the head of state going around the country? Why this? Let me tell you. Recently, and I agree with him, this is what he pointed out, that for a long time, matters youth engagement or rather empowerment have always been pushed to an A or B. But you remember the figures that I gave you, that we are staring at a bulging youth population. And therefore the world, and especially the developing nation, is going to experience spike in youth unemployment. This for a long time has always been, looked at as a development challenge, but it is increasingly becoming an economic challenge as well as a security challenge. Gerald, you saw in 2024 what happened, and I tell people that was just a press up. What those young people agitating for was just economic engagement. We are here, we are idle, we want to do something. So when people ask why president should not also elevate issues of youth agenda to become issues of national importance that requires his personal attention, then you wonder whether we care about our young population and our society at large. So His Excellency the President, because he himself promised to support and to stimulate economic, engagement, working with the hustlers, who most of them are at the bottom of the economic pyramid, and majority of them are our young people, is leading from the front by elevating the agenda of the youth to the table and to the same level, the same way he will address the security agenda, the health agenda, the food security agenda. He has just elevated. I thought people should be celebrating that because we are a country which is growing young and young every day. We are being faced with youth bulge. And when youth bulge strikes, it will not only affect those in government or those in everybody will be affected. So I think he's handling it, the kind of the level of attention he's given it is the right attention that we can get from a leader of his stature.
All right. So let me quickly go through the comments. Then Wakili will ask some questions as we had towards the end. Ann Lante, some good job. Kajiado County, asante sana. Einstein Kimuta watching live from University of Eldoret. Thank you. Joseph Maroko, Pia Susan Mang'eni has uplifted so many young people in the villages in Kenya. Okay. Nyota is positively impacting in Kenyan's economy. Thanks for being thoughtful on Nyota. Watching live from Kisii Town. Asante. Edwin Abwaku, good job. Asante. Einstein Kimtai, good evening. What about vulnerable learners from colleges and universities who do entrepreneurial jobs like selling samosa in order to earn a living, maybe to gather for rent or fees? How can they help? Okay, that's only. I hope you're taking note. Yes. Kiprotich Koromicha, please, as you converse, we would love to hear information about affordable housing. A lot of civic education needs to be done. In people in ground don't have information on it. Next time, bring us someone with knowledge on it. Huge conversation there. Thank you so much. We'll bring in someone on housing as well. Tetezi, ask Mama Nyota. Ask Mama Nyota hapo. What is the state of Hustler Fund? Alafu, why don't they build in the streets? I think you had answered that with the Nyota funds. But everyone is because not everyone is a businessman and woman. So maybe you will answer on the issue of Nyota. Kiprotich, those talked about discrimination on age. So I don't know if you want to pick the questions on the comments, then Wakili will ask the other questions. So there is the issue of wanafunzi, students who are in school. They're doing small time muscles. Yeah.
So one of the outcome that has emerged from this experience, the Nyota initiative, is that we need to do more, and also for the youth who have gone beyond Form 4 level of education in the higher learning institution. So we are coming up with a number of initiatives. One of the initiatives which I'm working on, we want to establish the business innovation and incubation centers and operationalize them in working closely with every university. So to help us in terms of bridging these young people who are interested or who are already doing some business, even for survival, to the industry, to the outside world. So when we establish that, obviously we'll also bring in some financing elements in it. So this is something that we are seriously looking into. We know very well that yes, we have learners who do business, and that's how they survive, that's how they pay for their hostel, their school fees, some from there. So we are coming up with those kind of initiatives. However, the initiatives like Youth Enterprise Fund, Wezo Fund does not lock out such kind of financial needs. So I think it's something that, again, like I say, we need to go to their spaces, we need to go to their places. And this is a conversation that we have started with the higher learning institution to see how do we support them to transition to enterprise the skills. I know we have encountered a lot of cases of some of our young people getting disillusioned immediately after they graduate. Then they'll get a job, and these are you find probably an engineer, you find a doctor. We had cases of people taking their life because they are frustrated, they're not getting a job. Imagine a medical doctor. You cannot say that there are no opportunities for him. All that probably they lack is now, what are the soft skills? What are the business skills? How can I enterprise my skills? How can I run my own enterprise as a medical doctor? How can I go maybe to a nearby clinic and offer them service and survive as I still look for probably a sustainable job placement or something? So those are the skills that we now need to entrench in our curriculum, especially in the higher learning institution. And so we will be, and probably will be signing them in right from the first year, so that somebody start figuring out, what do I make of my free time? Because especially for those who are doing the regular programs, they have a lot of time. I mean, you go to school in the afternoon, maybe in the evening, you're free, weekends, you're free. So how do you make sure that within your spaces, your free time, you can be generating some income that supports your livelihood, or even investing for future? They can start investing. You do something so that we kill this idleness that usually cause our young people to feel as if should not even have gone to school. I've had such kind of testimonies from them. Why did I even come to school? Maybe I should not have come because maybe there's no value to it. So I think if we do that initiative, it is going to support some of such kind of cases as has been raised.
Okay, I'll take your questions, Wakili, and then we'll get back to the comments as we towards the end.
So, Madam PS, mine will be not questions we have not answered before, but I believe this platform will provide a better clarity. There are 6 questions, and I'll bundle them. Yes, only 6, just 6.
Right.
So, number 1, is this the source of funds? It's not a loan to the beneficiaries. What is the arrangement, and what is the burden on the citizen from the source of funds for Nyota? Mm-hmm. My second question will be about people are concerned on the fanfare around Nyota. There is a lot of partying around Nyota to deliver 22,000. So they need to understand, is it fanfare or what really happens, and the cost of it versus the initiative and what they deliver. They feel like we are slaughtering a goat to deliver a chicken. Yeah. Then we are risking something from the young people in the kiosk mentality. We are having finances that are not linked to product. The risk there is we can all go and open the same business, or the money comes so easy that we might even burn it. So then where is the insurable interest in these amounts that we are giving our young people? And what do we do to make them derive value or even perceive value in the money they receive and not make it free money? Then there is the thorn in the flesh of the politics around it. Many of us are thinking, in pesa campaign, even in the timing. I know you'll also answer it by saying there was KYOP immediately before the 2022 elections, and how much did it do to win Baba the seat. Then there is the tax and cost of doing business. In the 20,000, what have we done on the policy level to even bring in the county governments to provide rebates in the licensing? Have we done tax sagging for the young people so that they don't get tax liabilities of $1 billion out of business that the investment initially is 20,000? Those are the... No. I'm done with my rap.
I think most of the questions, actually, we had already tackled them. Okay, let me begin by the fanfare. What everybody's thinking is fanfare. There is no fanfare. The forums are mentorship forum, high-level mentorship forum, and we've been able to achieve commitment from the county government, even on the fees, the waivers, and the license. If you've been following those forums, you've seen us engaging with the county governments. Like I said, the application process was self-initiated, was purely digital. So most of these leaders are getting to meet with these young people at the point of disbursement, those forums. So when we say this county from Kisii County, or this is Nyamira County, the governors are there and they are able to see. They're seeing these young people. So one, those forums are meant, first of all, to create visibility, that these young people are here. They exist, they have made a resolve that they want to do businesses, and therefore they require our support. So we need to prepare to support them. So bringing them close to the leadership, that they'll be knocking the door, it's like an introduction to them, is very critical. I'm imagining if we did not create such high-level engagement of policymakers, of decision makers, if these young people, if we disbursed in silence, and the following day they walk to the county government and they say they will still struggle. They will still struggle. So it is not a fanfare. We are achieving so much from this, introducing these young people into the ecosystem, getting the leaders, meet them and commit to support them, hear from them, look, even some of the challenges, because we've been having these young people discussing with the governors and raising, this is the, like, our license is this much, what are you going to do? And so far, all the county governments have pledged, all the governors have pledged a waiver. So what you're doing for their license, their fees, and they're giving them a waiver of about some are giving 1 year, some are giving 2 years, some are giving 5 years. So what you're doing as a ministry now, we are going to meet with all these governors, of course, through the COG, to walk through those commitments, and we really want to structure these commitments so that they become more kind of some legal frameworks that can outlive even the present administration. This way, we would have supported these young people, because I agree with you, some of those licenses, unless they receive waivers, could finish the startup capital. But so far, I can assure you that we have that undertaking, that these young people, and especially those who are coming into the business for the first time, including even those who are already in business, because they've been asking us, for us who are already in business, what will happen to us? But all Nyota beneficiaries are going to have been to benefit from that incentive of at least having this some sort of moratorium of a certain period of time before they can start doing. We could only again achieve that through that forum. So they're not just fanfare forum. The second objective for those forum, you know, most of these young people, like I said earlier, have very low social capital. Hawajui mtu yoyote. And most of them have not even had a meeting or a one-to-one with the MP. They don't even know how to access him, or they do not even know how to access the area MCA, because you can see they are from very vulnerable spaces. So bringing them there, number one is also to motivate them. The fact that they can get that high level of attention, the head of state, their leadership, their leaders that some of them, they've just been seeing them either on TV, you know, that space in itself is inspiring. And to me, business is not so much about the capital, but it's about the mentorship. It's about how you get prepared. It's about the support. It's about existing in an environment where people tell you we are going to support you. And you can feel that indeed these people have come to us. And so these were mentorship forums. And like I said, mentorship and linkages forum. Now, I have requests from the county government. They've written to me, most governors, asking me to share the data so that now they can start actualizing their promises. And you see, this is a good step. Most of these young people on their own, who will know them, will even know they exist. So we've created visibility. And the fact that they've elected to do business as opposed to looking for jobs, this is something that is worthy celebration. So when we meet with them, we also celebrate them. It's not an easy thing to get a young person saying, I'm not looking for a job, I want to create a job. These are our strategic partners as government in terms of job creation. Why would we not sit with them? The same way we sit with other key stakeholders, be it the donors, be it private sector. In the same way we are sitting with these people. These are going to be our next generation of the private sector. So we have to give them the same attention that we need. So they've not been fanfare. Now, whether the political question around it, like I said, this is a program for 5 years. We started it in 2022 the way it was designed. And from 2022, we go through all the processes, preparatory processes. It has just happened that it is around this time that now we had, reached the stage of disbursement. And so we cannot postpone it. These young people, they started this process, by the way, in terms of application. After, with the Development Partners Project, you go through processes of meeting even effective conditions, paperwork, preparatory process usual. They take almost not less than 2 years. Then after that, now the third year, you start now running very fast to do the implementation. The application process, the first application window, we rolled it out last year in March. They went through the processes, all those stages, filtering them from one stage to another. Until November last year, when we got our first cohort that was now ready to receive the startup capital. And then it's a process. And remember, this is a nationwide, project. And so it's not something that I say, why are we doing it now? It's the way it was designed. And it's the same answer also. I have been, and I know you talked about it, I've been telling people, this is an upscale of KEOP. KEOP also was there from 2018 to 2022. And I keep on asking, how much did it influence? And that's why we've been inviting all leaders, regardless of their political affiliation, to join us, because we are telling them, look, you have an influence over this young person. If you are a legislator, you make laws. And you need to come listen to their stories, because who knows, from their stories, you might come up actually with a bill to support them, relax some of probably the regulatory, systems. But you see, if you do not come to them, it's like you don't really regard them. And there is no leader who has come and has been told you cannot speak. Even if there are those opposition leaders, you cannot share this platform because the head of state is there. The truth is, President Ruto is the president of everybody, including even those opposition leaders. He's their president. So if he creates a platform, he presides over everybody. So it doesn't matter whether you are in opposition. You're welcome to come, and especially where we are handling such a critical matter as talking to our young people and nurturing them into entrepreneurship. Those leaders who refuse to come and then they go and decide to say political, nobody denied them a platform. They should have come. If they wanted to talk about what they plan to do, nobody will still deny them. And so I think those are noises which are a bit unfortunate, and we want to discourage them, because these young people, we need to build around them positive vibes, because we are modeling, it's like a formation process. So if we start distracting them, we are distracting people who will run industries probably when those opposition are in power, wherever. That's what I'm saying. So why
when they are, or maybe when they are not.
Lastly, you're talking about the source. Mm-hmm. And again, you've heard people saying, okay, this is World Bank's money. Yeah. And sometimes when I want to be a bit simplistic, I usually ask this question, that if you walk to a commercial bank and borrow a facility, does that facility belong to you, or it belongs to the bank? Thank you. So when you, again, those people who are all over, say, oh, this is World Bank's money. Well, this is money that has been borrowed by the Republic of Kenya, of course, through the government of the day. And by the way, not every country benefits from such facilities. It all also depends on the political goodwill and what you want to do. Working on those concepts, developing the concept and the proposal. People think that we just sat in Kenya and we sat there in our offices and the bank came and they said, here is a facility. No. You have to make a case why you need that money.
There's the credit worth part of it.
Yeah, credit worth is one of it. But you also have to have a plan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you must know exactly what you want to do with the money.
Yeah.
And we could, and this project, that's why the upscaling of this project, it came and it found that we had a better plan. So it aligned well with a better plan. And that's why you've seen this success. Because how we have delivered it, it is in a very intentional manner, the same approach that we are deploying in implementing other programs that we are conceptualizing under the better plan. So when people say, oh, it is World Bank, no. World Bank did not just bring us money. We had to sit down, conceptualize this program, and then say, is there an opportunity for finance? And say, yes, we have this facility, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot, and even going to defend that project is a lot of. So when I see people talking about it, I look at them. I wonder even what we are thinking. We have many countries which do not have this program. Why do we have it? Because we merit. Because we were able to demonstrate that there was a need. We were able to demonstrate that we had a plan with very clear outcomes. And we were able to demonstrate that the kind of approach we really want to use, it will reach out to the targeted young people. And like I say, us leveraging on the progress that we have made in mobile technology also helped us a lot. And that's why you are seeing this happening today. So then, the other question, again, you've asked, a burden to the taxpayers. But these are also going to be taxpayers. These are concessional loan. And if these young people get supported well, we'll have introduced to economy at least 100,000 entrepreneurs. We are expanding the tax bracket. So, sometimes you ask this question as if, why are we supporting these young people and somebody else will pay? They will also be among those people. But the most fundamental outcome in this is that when we create, assuming each one of them creates their own job, we'll have solved a societal problem. You can imagine us solving, at least trying to solve 100,000 young people from unemployment. Would have helped. And these young people are going to create jobs. So if job creation is not a return on investment, then I do not know. And then, of course, we kept on telling these young people during training that there's a lot of expectation because the Kenyan public has borrowed this facility to support them. So they need to work so hard so that we realize returns. And what are these returns? Their economic engagement, their jobs, grow their enterprises, and create jobs for others. And like that, if you were to look at the multiplier effect, eventually, some of these people will be manufacturers. This is how this begin. Gerald, let me ask you, most of the manufacturers, leading industrialists that you know in this country, grown up to see, you will be shocked to find some of them never went to school.
Correct.
We've had such cases. Yeah. And we are not saying that going to school is bad, but you're saying that opportunities are there. You can still make it in life if you are supported to unlock your potential, to harness the potential that are around you. So these young people are in that space. Let me ask you, the other day I went to Boni during the training to do some stop checks, see how they Boni Forest.
Boni Forest in Lamu.
When I told my team we are going to Boni Forest, everybody was like, what?
Yeah, you want us to?
Yeah. I'm sure had I asked you, Akili or Gerald, let's go to Boni Forest, you would have told me no.
I'm not going.
You told me I'm not going. Isn't it?
You are on your own.
And we went. And we found there a class of 84 young people from Basuba Ward, right in Boni Forest. And this is one of the center that we had almost 100% turnout. So when I engaged with those young people and I saw what was going into their mind.
And those are the people who would be ordinarily marginalized.
Those are the people that will open up the boni forest. Imagine if these all 84 beneficiaries get to grow their business, the boni forest will be opened up. They're the ones who will pull investors to boni forest.
Okay.
That the one will ensure that in future we even have bridges connecting the mainland of Lamu with the boni forest, those islands. So what I'm saying to that young person, and these are the stories which they told me, by the way.
So when are we going to get these stories? We are already on the top of the hour.
These stories now,
2 minutes past
now
top of
that
the hour.
we've done
Because
the
that was
disbursement.
as a success.
So we are going to mentorship.
Okay.
So a lot of stories. Of course, you cannot disburse today and tomorrow someone tells you,
They have succeeded.
yeah,
You're
no.
not magicians.
We need to be realistic.
Yeah.
But as we go into the mentorship, which is 2 months, we will start now working with them. You asked whether these people, the kind of businesses that are doing, and I had responded earlier, probably preempted that by saying that those experts, the BDS experts, are really helping them on ideation. And the reason why we decentralize those training, so that then we can get to work with them, especially during the mentorship period, as they launch their business idea, and advise them accordingly. So you don't need also to come up with the same, maybe products like the other person. So that's the purpose of the mentorship, and the hard holding that they're going to benefit from next week. The 2 months mentorship is to make sure that they position their business well, so that then all these aspects of customers, market profiling, competitiveness, product placement, packaging, all that knowledge they are going to acquire, and the skill of doing that during that period. So I think the return on this is that if we get to empower these young people, I think they are worth investing in. And like I said, staring at where this world is headed to in the next 10, 15 years, the youth bulge that we are likely to experience, and unemployed soaring to almost 1.6 billion, it is good to start investing early to the young people that have demonstrated interest, so that they can start helping us to create jobs.
Okay.
To counter that crisis.
Right, Collins, our super PS, thanks for the project. Kudos, PS were hustlers. Okay, most Meto, I 100% agree with the PS. Actually, for a successful business, the youth should go through the entrepreneurial process of 1, idea generation, 2, opportunity evaluation, 3, business planning, 4, resource gathering, 5, launch and execution, growth and scaling as a 6th.
Yes.
Asante sana. Waziri, your final remarks?
Yes. Yeah, so mine is just to encourage young people who are watching us. I know there were questions about how about those young people who are beyond the age bracket that we are focusing on currently. Is that the MSME ecosystem actually takes care. It takes care of everybody. So I want to tell you, Gerald, even you, we have something for you. If you come to KI, we can sort you up, because there you can access up to 20 million. If you want to do LPO financing, we having a youth fund and many other catalytic funds around. So we have everything for everyone in the MSME ecosystem. However, it's just now trying to work them out well, so that we bring it out and we take them to the spaces of all the targeted groups. But I also wanted to say one of the components of Nyota is AGPO. We also focusing on the existing youth and women-led enterprises. Access to government procurement opportunities for women, youth, and persons with disability. This one we want to support at least 600,000 youth, women, and PW-led enterprises. There we are not focusing so much on age. We're also not focusing so much on education qualification. So even if you're a graduate, you're a PhD holder, and you've been struggling on how you can figure out, make it to some of those tenders, we will be there for you, and we'll be rolling out the window of application very soon, and we'll encourage existing enterprises, because the objective of that is to see how we can build their competitiveness. And you see, business competitiveness is also achieved when you can access a market. More so as a guaranteed market like the one which we have with government. And government is the largest procuring entity. We consume, we are the largest consumers in any economy. So we want to encourage them that when that opportunity comes, it doesn't buy you, whether you are a graduate, whether you are overage, it will be opened for youth. If you're a youth, you'll have to be within the age bracket of up to 35. If you are women and persons with disability, you can go beyond 35 years. So we have them in mind, but you're going also to come up with new initiatives. We have so much that we're working on. I keep on saying the cook is still in the kitchen. So we're still working out the various our menu
we'll
properly.
Keep smelling the aroma.
Yeah, we'll keep smelling. So we are going to increasingly to change. And people who are worried of timing, by the way, government is a going concern. Even on the material day of voting,
business will still be done.
Continues. So we will even disburse on the very day. Because it's a going concern. Life continues. Thank you.
Okay, the final remarks, Biombo.
Mine is to really thank the PS for how you have broken down this to levels that we can palette. I also want to encourage maybe the PS to, because the thing that tickles my mind still is how much information there is, but still how much you have not consumed. So I don't know how we'll do that. They say the wise that if you want to hide something from an African person, put it in a book. Maybe we need audiobooks from the ministry so that we can listen. Do we want to rap? Do we want to create musicals? And really demystify this.
Of engagement, because you see now Nyota is everywhere because of high level of engagement, and we need to encourage His Excellency the President now to get into those engagement even much deeper. You want him to disburse so I can organize that.
Please.
Tafadhali.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, PS, for making time. It's been a pleasure having you. And thank you so much for the information as well that you're giving out to the citizenry. And like Mokaya has mentioned, I think the biggest problem that we deal as a populace is limited information because it's not given, or also limited information because we don't pursue. So I hope as well that's
consume the information. Isn't it?
Right. Like unajua pia wakati mwingine sometimes there's no information and sometimes there's a lot of information, but people don't consume the information. So it's also a challenge to those who are watching us that even as we keep criticizing, it's important that you immerse yourself in the space of information so that as you're criticizing, objectively on the aspects that are missing from a program. But you cannot just say that hapana haiwezi ifanye. Like most gonna skanga ifanye kama wala washa kimuzo umeenda hospitali.
But by the Gerald, I don't know if you have ended the
yes, but we are late. We are 10 minutes late.
Just give me a minute. You see, there's one thing also which I wanted to mention. Now, whereas this project was directly targeting young people who have not progressed beyond Form 4, it has created engagement opportunity for graduates as we speak. Those trainers are graduates. In fact, the first training, the first BDS training that we've done, we engaged over 3,000, actually to be specific, 3,325 trainers across the country. And how are we remunerating them? Averagely is around 4,500, averagely per day. So you can work it out. So it has also created opportunity for our graduates because they've been training. But the most important thing, it's given them also a platform to start now building the experience, even in the consultants world. So these young people who have been involved in training, especially those graduates, college, diploma holders, and university graduates, their CV will not be the same. They are now going to enrich their CV, and this makes them become more competitive, even in the international job market. So you also want to look at
the ripple effect.
The ripple effect, and which is also almost direct, because we are having graduates who are training these young people. So if you say, why are we not benefit? Don't look at just the 25,000 or 50,000. Also look at who else is in this space.
Okay. Asante, I think that was very important as well. The ecosystem, we analyze also the ecosystem, even as we look at the 700,000, 150,000, progressively as we move to 2 million, we need to look at that, the expanding ecosystem as well. If I earn a shilling today and I buy something from him, how far does it circulate in the economy?
Yeah, circulated.
Correct.
Money is everywhere now.
Money inazunguka. Irudi kwa mfuko yako. Asante sana. This has been The Tackle, the 18th of February 2026. And it ends right now. Until next week, bye-bye and see you. Enjoy the rest of the evening.